And do you know what is else shocking in the horrid performance of the Israeli government leading to the massacre of October 7th? It not only gave up on us, Israelis in the south, and on the idea of Zionism, it gave up on Israel being the haven for all Jews around the world. Safe, 1,500 dead and safe? This is indeed shocking, because Benjamin Netanyahu and his government allowed the ghost of the Holocaust to come back. It popped its cruel head in Israel, but also in the USA, in England, Europe and Australia. Where would we be safe, we ask? Can we recreate Israel as a safe house? Or do we forever need a White House with big guns and bigger president and bigger ministers? Yesterday I read a blog by Josh Gilman who wrote, and I quote, "You might have lost every last one of your Jewish friends this week, and you have no idea why. Please be patient with me as I try to explain things. I'm going to be explaining things that are totally foreign to you. I didn't even know I felt and thought this way until a couple of days ago, myself. Well, the Holocaust is back." After this intriguing opening, Gilman continues writing that your Jewish friends want to know if they can run to your house for shelter when the enemy comes to get them, either Hamas jihadists or those American neo-Nazis chanting, "Jews will not replace us." Yes, those are the guys that Donald Trump hailed as good people in Charlottesville. And that tells me that I will not run to find shelter in Trump Tower or Mar-a-Lago. "Will you open the door for us?" asks Mr. Gilman. "Will you hide us and protect us?" I was surprised by Josh Gilman's blog post. Are Jewish Americans as traumatized by the Holocaust as the Israelis? After years of disconnect, can we see a glimpse of our shared Jewish past and shared Jewish destiny? Are the Jews in the US, England and Australia as fearful as we are Israeli Jews? Do they see the October 7th attack by Hamas as an attack against their safety and identity in faraway places? Did they finally get the Zionist message? I mean, that Israel is the haven for all Jews, the only safe haven. But maybe I was wrong to be surprised by Josh Gilman looking for a safe house to run to in America, testing how many of his friends passed the test of empathy. And maybe I was wrong because I was surprised by this thought, running to shelter, since I'm a Zionist. Because until October 7th, the day of the catastrophe, that horrible Black Sabbath, we have never entertained such thoughts in Israel. Because we are Zionists. We trusted our government, so we never asked ourselves if we would need to run to our neighbors' houses or seek a friend to hide us. But, as Josh Gilman says, these are the days of reckoning. Are we safe in Israel? You know, people are given guns and shotguns these days in Israel. People also seek hiding places in case something happens to them too. In Tel Aviv, people practice their Krav Maga again. People think how to do pazatsta, Paul, Schal and shoot. Anyway, Josh Gilman went on to say to his American friends, "We may like your posts that say never again, but we never fully believe it. On Saturday, 7th of October, we were reminded that we were right not to trust you. That means that we, the Jews, have got your message that you do not stand for us and you will not protect us." Indeed, what Mr. Gilman exposed is that the repressed, the fear that Muslims and Christians still entertain anti-Semitic wishes to make all Jews disappear. Well, he said that the repressed came into full view on October 7th. It was as clear as the massacres of old Europe, complete with blood and fire. Although we felt shocked, he added, we did not necessarily feel surprise. We know they want to kill us. They simply proved to be effective this time. He then concluded by saying this to his Gentile friends. I am not saying that I fear you or that I do not love you. I'm just saying to tell you that unless you have shown that you will stand with me, I will not run to your house if they come for me and my family. It is true that Israelis never believed that Hamas is a peace-loving neighbor or that Islam will come to terms with the presence of a Jewish state in the land of Israel. But we never suspected that our own government and Bibi of all figures will fail so miserably in upholding the post-Holocaust promise of never again. We never had this suspicion that we need a friend's shelter because we felt assured in being sovereign in our own promised land. We assumed we controlled our destiny. The police are our police, the military are our military, and the government, alas, in the present case, is our government. But our destiny, we felt, was in our hands. We never really thought what house to run to. We are the house. Join us, we said to you, Jews out there. We are the safest place for Jews on earth. This is Zionism 101, and Bibi made us realize that we were fooled by his government. To our shock, under Bibi's watch, the most horrific terror attack was launched against unsuspecting Israelis. Bibi, Mr. Security, the guy holding the Iranian atomic bomb under his control, Bibi failed in the simple task of watching a fence, in the simple task of self-defense, and the confluence of the successful attack by Hamas with a miserable governmental and military preparedness brought back images of the Holocaust to Israel too. They brought back fears that characterized Israel before 1967. Yes, Eichmann is back, Hitler is back, though this time with the face of Hamas leaders. Same story, same trauma. The Jewish repressed returned to Israel just as it awoke in America and England and wherever. We too, like Josh Gilman and Jews in the US and England, we're also suddenly shocked to learn that we need a friend's house to run to, a White House. And like Josh Gilman, who had marked down many of his friends, we too, Israeli Jews, need to mark down our political and military leadership since they made us golim in our country. They brought back the Jewish existential insecurity that characterized the Jews in lands of exile. And in the meantime, we exiled our people to hotels, but emotionally we Israelis, we were all exiled out of Zion, out of Zionism, out of the promise of security in our own sovereignty. Yes, we are afraid just as world Jewry is afraid. We fail to hold off the return of the Holocaust. This, even in miniature, is a complete shock to the Zionist belief system. Let me tell you a story. My father was born in Belgium in 1922. In 1942, then at 19, and as his parents were taken by the Nazis to Auschwitz, my father was given shelter by a Belgian guy. He hid at his home for 3 years. Monsieur Paul, as we call him, is the reason I am alive to tell you that story. So, running for shelter at your neighbor's house is no fantasy for the Jews. Yes, this is how many of us survived in hiding. Take Aaron Barak, our former Supreme Court president, living thanks to some neighbor who hid his mom and him during the Holocaust. Yes, this is a typical Jewish story. This is the Jewish predicament, and Zionism promised that we will never need another hiding place again. But October 7th made us realize that we do, that our predicament is shared with the predicament of Jews in the US, in England and Australia. We need a neighbor, an alternative house. The Israeli government disappointed us Israelis, us Jews around the world. We need to revitalize the Zionist promise to build a safe home for ourselves, change our failed government, and replace our military leaders and come to terms with the cultural neighborhood that Moses and King David set for us here. But with Netanyahu's government, we might still need another safe house, an alternative house, and we need real friends. Smile. What a surprise, what a shock. Until the next time, I am Professor Gad Yair.